It's another beautiful outing on International Forum. Big thanks for joining. I am Philip Omo-Yupo. And you look at, take a retrospect on what transpired on July 13 at Butler in Pennsylvania when Donald Trump came up, the former president of America, came up on a rally. And what transpired when just nearby a rooftop, they had a sniper that attempted to assassinate his life, and in the process ripped through the right ear of Donald Trump. And all that transpired then became a very, very mind-boggling, rippling, a whole lot of stories and various arguments. Why some say that, well, that was like a very hot movie series being staged like a script. Others also condemn the actions, noting that it was really, really sad to see that a developed polity as the United States of America could still be having this and the incidents of their political unfold. Well, joining me to discuss this, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, looking at the scrutiny and the implications. From my immediate left, I have a legal practitioner and also senior pastor of Faith Pillars Gospel Center, Patrick Awo-Osaige.
Thank you for having me, Philip.
You're welcome, Dr. Patrick Awo-Osaige. And next to
pleasure.
Dr. Patrick Awo-Osaige is a lecturer at University of Benin, Honorable Frank Amego. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's hit the ground running like they will always say. Now, it's amusing, but the challenge here is that what transpired, some have seen it from the two sides of a coin. I choose to start with you, Frank Amego. Yeah. Some have seen it from the two sides of the coin. Or, you know, at every argument, you must have those who argue for and argue against.
Yes.
But surprisingly, Donald Trump seemed to be getting more positive responses in terms of support as regards this, although there is the impression that what transpired was staged, while a whole lot of persons condemned it. How do you react to the reports that emanated from Butler, Pennsylvania, July 13, when the assassination attempt was upon Donald Trump?
Yes, I want to see it as a state-managed event because lives were involved, and if not for anything, if that bullet had hit his skull, there would have been a different thing entirely. Even if he did state-manage it, but he would have regretted it. And whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, the whole thing is now attempted assassination on
the former
President Donald Trump. But somebody died. Did we also say such a person was assassinated? But the whole light is beaming on Donald Trump. What are those that were seriously injured? Okay, that aside, what the American people are going to wake up with any moment from now is that they've given Donald Trump better things to say while he's campaigning. And it was a situation that happened that nobody will say it was well done.
Yeah.
A lot of presidents have spoken, past presidents of America. Even Joe Biden has castigated it. And our dear president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, has also said his own part. I was reading a paper whereby some persons were not happy with the posture of our own president in Nigeria. That you left Nigeria where you have a lot of insecurity challenges and be commiserating with another country, and you left your own behind. I know at every time you must see people with dissenting views. But what happened to Donald Trump will likely, let me not conclude, likely make him to win that election.
Okay, so it's going to count positively.
Yes, people are going to have...
From your perspective.
Yes, but like a sympathy vote. And Donald Trump, anytime you're going to hear from him, though he has chosen his running mate, a 39-year-old young man, the next thing you hear from him that he is God ordained to be president of America. Otherwise, he would have died.
That's correct.
That's a simple campaign strategy. That it is not me trying to become president. Now, God wants me to become president. So who are you now not to agree with God from not allowing me to become president? So Joe Biden, I don't know what will become his fate now. Donald Trump has so many reasons against Joe Biden not to come back as a president. Now this one added to it. If I were to vote right now, I'll vote for, for Donald Trump.
Thank you very much for your articulation, Frank Ameg, Honorable Frank. Well, looking at what we were talking about as regards no one will basically want to act in a movie or be part of a movie where he would demand that he should be killed in the process.
Actually killed.
What really was so touching was, peradventure, there was a little shift on his head, and the bullet now penetrated the back of his skull. What would have transpired? Well, let's get your perspective, because as we speak, we're still getting feedback from the FBI technical specialists saying that they have been scrutinizing the phone of the sniper, Thomas Matthew Crooks, that was brought down immediately, and they continued to analyze his electronic devices. The search of the subject's residence and vehicles already completed, and the FBI has conducted nearly 100 interviews of law enforcement personnel, event attendees, and other witnesses. That the work is also in progress. The FBI also received hundreds of digital media tips, which include photos and videos taken at the scene, and they continue to review incoming tips. They also encourage anyone with information that may assist with the ongoing investigation to continue to submit online. And while the investigative work continues, FBI victim services personnel have offered assistance to the victims of Saturday's incident. And the FBI is investigating the shooting incident at the July 13 rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, which resulted in one victim's death and injuries to former President Donald Trump and other spectators as an assassination attempt and potential domestic terrorism. So let's get your perspective, Patrick Awo Osaige. Do you concur that that was a script being made?
Thank you very much. Obviously, I will never concur to that, and I don't think that was the position. Like distinguished lecturer had said.
You seem to speak like a fan of Donald Trump.
I am not just a fan, I'm part of him.
Oh.
If you call it a fan, fine. I think at this critical time of our lives, we should be able to speak truth. You know, the man have not, what has he done that anybody will want him dead? Even if we say he's old, he's troublesome, it gets at people, but that he will stage his own killing, that sounds very, very funny, very unfounded for anybody to think about. Well, for Donald Trump.
Or someone who is desperate could do that.
Well, when you say to
it's
die.
Just, you know, everything we talk about is just a little bit of arithmetic.
You know why I don't agree?
And if you've got
it can
someone
happen
who
in our
you
country,
see as
Nigeria.
Okay, go ahead.
Not in America, where everything is laid bare. Yes, that's the truth. They already know what has gone down. What FBI will do, basically, they won't want to get into what will create some tension back and forth. They have all the information. They know who did it, they know everything. So all those things they are releasing to, this is what we are doing, they know everything. If Donald Trump was, this is a man that was taken to court. He was charged criminally and he went to court. So why will he do a thing like that and it will not come out? They will jump at it quickly. His opponents will take that as a way to quickly get him out of the election. But that's not the position. Donald Trump never planned his death, one. And secondly, even the FBI themselves, they may have compromised. Honestly, because for that to happen, I don't think they were not aware. I don't think so. For the way they operate that I know, everything is laid bare. They know what happened. If you look at what they said, okay, he went down and then that's okay. The guy is down now. After some few seconds, about 41 seconds, they have gotten him down. So what I'm saying, you already had something, you already saw something happening. So what were you doing? So who was the guy within the FBI space that was not responding?
So what you're saying is that if they were proactive enough, that shooting would have been done?
It won't happen because they're gone are the days you kill presidents. Those days are gone, you kill Kennedy and Lincoln and those guys that were just murdered. It's not done anymore. The technology is so sophisticated. That's what I'm trying to say.
So you agree there were loose ends?
There were loose ends, so they should look inward. Investigation is not looking out for the killers. It's who amongst us is in tandem with the killers. I think that is basically what we should be looking at. But for Donald Trump, and those killers will not want to kill him for themselves. So who is Donald Trump's biggest opposition. That's what we should look at. Well, we will not trace it. He's a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. We know he will not put himself in a criminal suit. There are ways things are done. There are supporters that could come around and do some things around. So it's very, very petty to go that route. What is this man saying? He has argued that you're spending so much money in Ukraine war, that this killing should stop. That's what the man has been saying. He has not said anything. You are talking about these guys are threatening. Is America a match for Russia? Is America a match for China? It's not. We don't make politics. They say, come on, stop talking like this. We know who we are. The Air Force One have never been shot down. The Air Force One have never crashed since inception. Have you had an American Air Force One crashed? It's not done. Technology have gone beyond that. They know what they are doing. They know who they are. So Donald Trump says, stop trying to win or scholarship point that you are trying to fight to ensure that these guys don't blow up the world. Nobody's going to blow the world. These guys are afraid of your misbehavior. And meanwhile, you are using this as a means to making money for yourselves and your friends. And that's what he's not happy about. Military hardware are being sold to those guys now. They're buying. Ukraine is in ruin. And look at what is going on. Two neighboring countries have become a war-torn environment, and people are no longer safe. Donald Trump is saying, I just want people to stop dying. And that's a good man, and that's a man I want to support. Not the one that wants people to keep dying while we continue to exercise the strength over them. The same man killed Salman the other time, the other Asia guy that was trying to do, it hit him and he killed him straight away. You can't do this here. The same man met with, what's his name, the other man in North Korea, he met him. They had their time together. The same man, he went to China.
Kim Jong-un?
Kim Jong-un, he had his time with him. He had his time, he has been visiting them. He made Jerusalem the capital. He just did this thing without planning, and he got it done. So that's the kind of, I believe in that proactive nature. That's what Americans need now. We don't want to talk about the war in Ukraine that will not end. I remember that time, the Syria war, the development, Al Jazeera sits back and forth, development, this is what I'm killing in Aleppo, and then there are reporters here, you are drinking tea and watching people die. Donald Trump don't like that. He wants this war to end now, and America have the capacity to end the war now. That's what Donald Trump is saying.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
Watching him while he attended the convention, the Republican convention today, with a big bandage on his right ear, one will wonder if it was the whole ear that was ripped off. And for the very fact that he's holding a big bandage on the right ear should also speak that maybe he wants to, call for attention on what transpired. Because what we have on reports is that just ripped through the top right of the ear and not the entire flap. But well, let's see your perspectives, because good enough, he didn't die in the process. But some have also said that even while he bent down, the shootings were still going on.
Exactly.
So was the sniper not only targeting Donald Trump? If the target is already down, as bent down, why still shooting? So some have also said that this could be more of a play and a hot movie. I want you to see it from that perspective and see how you can, tie points to show that it wasn't a script.
Yes, I mean, I totally agree with you on that.
No, I'm not holding any opinion.
Yes.
I'm just peddling what others are saying.
Good. From my colleague here, if what happened now, that's what I'm in sympathy with concerning Trump. But on his capacity as a president, no way. I'll score him 0. Who can sympathize with him, and that ends it.
Oh, you are not his fan?
No, I can never be. I can never be his fan. Because of his arrogance. I can't forget what he did to our former president, Muhammadu Buhari. How can...
your dear president,
dear
former president. Your dear former president.
No matter what he did as a president.
Okay.
But our own president, things is said about him. I can't even say it here. You know them.
You seem very patriotic.
I should be. So what is said, he should apologize to Nigerians first, before I can think of liking or not liking him. That's all. I'm not in the mood to talk about his capacity.
Okay, can you scrutinize the big bandage on his right ear?
Why not?
Does it make sense?
It was the upper part of the right ear. The upper part.
So it requires the entire ear to be covered.
Bandage it. You cannot bandage that tiny point. I'm sure if that place was not ripped off completely, they would have done some suturing would have
exactly
attended to it.
One would have felt, at least for a sane society, a sensible human being, just a plaster would do that because it ripped just the top of the right ear. That was what we were made to believe.
One thing
now,
about
the entire right ear being blocked gives an impression that he's trying to attract attention.
Why not? In fact, they just gave Donald Trump a platform to perform. All the points he ever had against Joe Biden, this is the icing on the cake. So I said
Seriously.
it. You know, it's very religious. You could even spiritualize it, as I earlier said, that he is God ordained. That if it had been Joe Biden, he would have survived it. But thank God, God was on his side. Then the sniper is not a trained sniper. A trained sniper will not shoot first and continue shooting. Maybe, just maybe, the young man is not, it was also a non-entity from the background we had. He did well in his college and all that. So it would have had some misgivings about the man.
I think you just fed the appetite of those who believe that it was stage managed.
It wasn't
because
stage managed.
you said the sniper was not a trained
Not trained.
Now, whoever is giving such a contract to someone to deal on the former president wouldn't give it to a dollard.
I wouldn't want to agree with you that it was contracted to that young man. You know, one thing about America, I don't know why they're even complaining. They have made handling of arms and ammunition a common right for every person. So you cannot come back to say you didn't use the arms properly. Why did you legalize it? It's the legalization of carrying of arms that led to it. I also got to read that the gun he used, the rifle, belonged to his own father. So he just took advantage of the presence of Donald Trump at the gathering. And as for us in Nigeria, that time would have been reckoned to be ungodly. How could you gather people together about 6:15 p.m.? I don't think you attend such a rally. See that the rally will start at Ring Road.
That's America, not Benin.
I know, 6 p.m. Very ungodly. So
that's like daylight in America.
Daylight.
Yes, I know, but
they hardly can distinguish between when it's night and when it's day.
We are doing the postmortem from Africa now.
Okay.
Why would you wait till that time? Then the young man that shot at him, what I said is not professional, it wasn't professional. You had a target. Then you shot at your target and they whisk the target away. Then you fold your things and run away.
Well, would you call it an act of grace? Were you expecting that he should hit the target?
He wanted the target. That's what he wanted. Or maybe again, because he's not alive now, he just wanted to disrupt the rally by the sporadic shooting. Otherwise, well, what did he stand to gain? Exactly. And I don't agree that the young man was contracted to do it. He had his own challenges, just like in leadership. No matter how good you are as a leader, you still have some persons that will just hate you for nothing. So what happened there is advantage. If you want to quantify 100% advantage for Donald Trump to win this election this year. So the way it is now, even what Joe Biden said, he and his wife sympathizing with him, already his own followers will have been divided. That this is the Messiah and he must not die. So Donald Trump will say so many things that, as you also said, I say you are his fan, that what he's doing between Russia and Ukraine, he will do it differently. It's a lie. He can't.
He has a way.
He can't do it.
Let's win.
He can't do it because you're seeing your rival, your opponent do the thing. And the direction he told is not giving us the expected results. So you are thinking he should have done it otherwise. It's not like a game of football I commonly refer to. You are just watching from the comfort of your home. No, that ball, that man should have just bent down a bit. Then slide it. That becomes a goal.
Okay.
But now you are giving the boots everything to play on the pitch. 2 seconds, you are tired. You're asking your coach to remove you. So Donald Trump is a noisemaker.
All right. Before we delve deeper into the implications, we are still on the scrutiny. Because I think I should get to your perspective on the big bandage on his right ear.
Thank you very much.
And you also made mention of the fact that it was poorly done. The sniper even used his father's rifle. So it was poorly done. And that doesn't give an impression that a very organized, a body was behind that attempt, assassination attempt. So which also bring rooms for suspicion if it was probably just given to him to do it, and even when it was checked, he was a Republican. So how do you tie these ends?
Well, politics is funny, and obviously you know how it runs. You could have morals everywhere. People could claim to be this and that. And whether it was poorly, there was a man called Marvin Gaye in the 80s, and released Sexual Healing. And the father happened to be a reverend and was not happy. The powerful music all over the states and the world celebrating sexual healing. At the end of the day, what did his father do? He brought his gun and shot him. Oh, he did it out of anger. But Marvin Gaye died. What I'm trying to say here, regardless of the English we're speaking here, somebody wanted to kill him. And that's the guy that we brought down. Whether he's a professional sniper or not professional, he wanted, there was an intention. Law punish your intention. What was the intent? And that, something spoiled it up. You couldn't say, well, because it was odd hour. That's not, there's nothing like that in America. You have any time you want, whenever, everybody's free. You can move anytime. There's no time. It's only in Africa we can talk about this odd hour or whatever. There, obviously, you move anytime. You can do anything anytime, which is fine. That's a beautiful society, decent one. And that, like I said, whatever may have happened, it was orchestrated. Obviously, that is clear. Why the big bandage on his ear? Donald Trump is not a kid. It's not a baby. He's over 70. And this man is an old man. And you should understand, don't just look at the ear. You don't know the psychological trauma that bullets have really through my body.
He wasn't feeling traumatized.
That's
exactly what we were thinking. Because at the point where
he's a leader.
He came upon him,
did something
one wouldn't have been looking for his shoes.
No, because you know why?
But he was looking for his shoes.
He was looking because he's a strong man. He
Which
believes
shows
in
that he wasn't even traumatized and also trivialized what transpired.
Yes, he did, because you have to trivialize all that is going on around you.
At the point of shock?
Yes, and you can't be shocked. Hold on.
From what we could see, he wasn't shocked.
Well, that's because of the kind of person he is. You can't kill me.
Are you talking about his arrogance?
What are you talking? He's not arrogance. You interpret that as arrogance. He's just a man that knows himself. He won't allow you to talk him down. Even me too, I won't allow anybody to talk me down, no matter who you are. He spoke against your president and our president. All he said about him, if your president was not okay with it, he would have gone to international court and contested that. So the issue of maybe a president was speaking, and Donald Trump is not a neophyte. He's not someone just coming in. That's a former president of the United States. And why he held sway as president, we saw all these things he brought to bear. And so what he's saying now is not rocket science. These are people he can call. He's trying to say, let us have a conversation with them. Let us stop this game. Okay, the government of our nation now, they keep telling you they are fixing 2 tires with $2,000 to buy tire. And then you are saying somebody is from America insulting that this is nonsensical. And you say, why will he say that? Why will he say that? That's not patriotism. He's just being a realist. He just wants it done properly. Now, we are killing people. You are telling me there is Ukraine war. Whether a big band, they should even bandage his head round. I'm in support of that. Yeah, it's an accident. Something happened. They almost killed him. Bandage his 2 hands and leg. I will be in support of it, because that's not the problem. It's just a bandage on his ear. People are making issues out of that. Now, because he's a man that is courageous, you know, he was able to still wave his hand to show you how passionate he is about the American people and the sufferings they're going through. He feels what they are being served now is funny. Look at what the current president is doing. Is it not funny that a man that wants to address is missing the podium? A man that misses the podium where he's going to stand to address people, what is he doing? The agendas are already in shambles. So these are issues. That's what Donald Trump is talking about, and that's what we are all saying. All right. That the man in question, Joe Biden, should start packing his things. It's not just an incompetent, it's dementia is setting in, and when dementia sets in, there's no amount of palliative or trying to model it up. Camilla Rice, what's her name again? Camilla, the vice president, the Constitution don't give her the right to do many things. The man the old man keeps swaying back and forth. You should go and sit in this old rocky chair and sit down. Let the man. Donald Trump has successfully handled several businesses. The Trump Towers and many of them. That man is a colossus. He has succeeded in business. He's teaching them the modern days politics. It's not to speak English from Cambridge and Harvard like Obama. He is telling you reality. This is how to do it. And that's what Donald Trump is bringing to the tables. Thank you very much for your articulation. Now, he made mention of some aspect in regards of what transpired. Most especially when some are also saying that they're loose end at the point where the security on the ground, the security personnel, the FBI,
had to wait until the shot was fired before they could take that guy down, Thomas Matthew Crooks. That shows some big blow to the FBI. I want your perspective on this, because it's a developed country, a developed polity, and that again could send some shock down the spines of Americans that could also trigger some voter apathy.
I guess that some of the security guys, they were not up and doing, because the range was so close that ordinarily, even without any optical device, one would have to see such a character, no wonder a crook. So one could see such a character, and for him to now hold the rifle and point at the crowd. In fact, those security details, they have a lot of things to respond to.
The truth.
Because the compromise was there. Compromise, maybe one or two of those security guys there, it's okay, good riddance to bad rubbish, you know, too much. There's no way one would not see that character on top of a roof. Even a bird could be seen at that point. And at that short distance, we know that this bird is a dove, is a sparrow. One could justify it.
Exactly, with cameras hovering around.
Yes, as even without optical instruments.
Yes, of course.
With a visual sight, one will be able to see that this is a human being. A 20-year-old boy, maybe a baby, maybe would have mistaken him for something else. But at that age, that size, with a rifle, and he did all that. Donald Trump, from this clip, is showing his desperation, in pains. If he didn't raise his hand to show other bad, they'll think maybe he has lost out. He's just acting now. He's acting.
Yes.
So
thank you.
The security details will have to respond to some questions, because if there's already the FBI or whatever group of security personnel that were asked to man that occasion, if they don't query them, such a thing might happen again.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Frank. Well, July 13, Butler, Pennsylvania was on standstill. We could see how Donald Trump was taken to the van, and all that has to do with 7 medics on the former President Donald Trump brought to bear. Okay, so we need to also look at the essence of having politics or campaign of calumny. We keep advising that if we must get it right, then it should be issue-based campaigns and not campaigns of calumny or castigating personalities. And we remember vividly even a statement credited to the President of America, Joe Biden, where he said, it's time to put Donald Trump in the bullseye. I want you to react to that comment. Looking at what statements they do or they ventilate, and how do you see the practice of democracy or campaign there? Is it a kind of campaign that African politics should emulate?
When you say emulate, they are all part of us. We are all in the human stock. We are all behaving same alike. When you are angry, you make derogatory comments about your fellow man, but it's unbecoming of them, because they ordinarily should be the leader of the world. Now, for the president, a lawyer, a senator for many years standing, who have been in the government circle for so long, vice president for 2 terms, and now president of himself, or for the United States, and he by himself president. Now go to the extent of making such derogatory, very unfounded statements is rather unfortunate. And that's just to say he lacks competence.
Although he made some clarifications that he was not after going personal with Donald Trump, he was just after the policies that Donald Trump wanted to peddle.
He is not the one to decide. Leave policies. Policies, your own policy will be your own government. Every governor or president or leader or president have their own policies. So do you run what you are doing now? Is it working? There are professors that have failed before, and they are common. I remember there was once upon a time a governor in this state who was not even, who they said didn't go to school. But he was able to create light around the ring road and ensure that the ring road was somewhat clean. And he was building roofs. He didn't go to school. The ones that went to school, the roads are funny and, and things are happening. So you that went to school that could read and write, that had time, The one that didn't go to school understood the need for kids to be in classroom. Come on, that's phenomenal. It's another day's talk. What I'm saying here, all those several talk of we are policy here and there, Americans are not having it funny. Things are very expensive now. So many more persons are on the streets of New York. They are going to stand for tickets to get food. Americans. I'm not talking about outside America. This is what is going on in the country. So a lot of things are going on. And Donald Trump said, no, we cannot keep business down. We must keep doing business. We must keep encouraging our people, find a way to cut from the big guys. And then you guys are just speaking jacked and that this is happening. And instead of creating military hardware, and then all you are doing is all about to secure America, we must deal with the bad guys and those kind of talk. And look at the kind of comments coming from him. It's unfortunate, and I take strong exception to that. For Donald Trump, that we all know is his Trump Tower is standing there in New York. We know all he has done for the United States. Joe Biden have not done 1/20th of what he has done as an individual. He has only been in leadership. I'm not disputing the fact that he has been a senator making laws. I'm talking of in terms of creating business for people, low earners, and people to get a place to work. I think Donald Trump is more of a person that have impacted the American people. The ordinary person, not because you are in charge of policy and managing policy and all of that, you're a lawyer. We know all those grammar and English. Thank God I also went to school. I understand what he's speaking, but at this critical time, we are talking about how to bring back America, make it great, better and bigger again. I think that is what, so instead of using such derogatory comments,
I must say, if not that I know my big brother, Dr. Patrick Awosage, very well, I would have thought that you are the media aide to the Donald Trump Campaign Council.
If you give it that to me, I would gladly receive it.
But it's possible overnight you must have been given that contract. No one can tell. Maybe you'll be looking at the aspect of organizing the campaigns from Africa.
No, we don't have to do that. The fact speaks for itself. Donald Trump have impacted me more. Okay. My business success today in Nigeria is orchestrated. It's linked to Donald J. Trump. Wow. So I'm in real estate. I'm everywhere. I'm not complaining. So I don't know what's going on in Nigeria. So all the policies and things I'm practicing is from him. So if he has blessed me that much, I'm not broke, I'm employing people are working and happy, and things are running very well. So why will I not celebrate such a man?
Okay, what do you see about Donald Trump's personality and significance in the forthcoming election and what it means for America?
Yes, he has the right to contest, like my colleague is saying. I wonder what will happen if he loses. I don't know what will happen.
We'll go back to Trump Towers and have a good time.
No, to you, I mean.
Oh, nothing will happen to
the way you're campaigning and
nothing will happen to me. We will remain. It's election. It's called political games. You know. It's
like for me, if not that I'm sympathizing with him on what happened to him, I have no business with him. No one business with him. Because when you talk too much, there's no reservation. What you are thinking of doing, the whole world is aware. You have not put anything in motion. You have not hit the ground running. Then everybody is agog. Hey,
that's your word against his. Because he has been talking about the style of his administration.
Yes.
That is a man who has been pragmatic.
Very,
so if you say that it's not hitting the ground running.
His opinion.
The evidence is there.
Because
so evident.
Okay, do you see Biden's administration as hitting the ground running?
Of course, long ago. Joe Biden is better off. He's more reserved. And he's doing much more than he's saying.
Without making noise?
No, without making noise. It's not like there's a state in Nigeria here whereby we had a former governor. He was trying to refer to him just now. Former governor. Any small thing is jumping up and down from one gutter, from one gutter to the other. They now have another one that refuses to jump. That's no, life has gone beyond jumping. Let's do it. Let the people be saying it. While we are doing, you'll be saying it.
Exactly.
No, you are saying it. As you are saying it, you are not doing. So you can't do the two things at the same time. So what Donald Trump should do is to talk less. The audience you are speaking with or speaking to, they are tired of you saying so many things. You're going to tar roads from here to Kafachan. You're going to connect light with a wire from the sun down to your residence. You do not ask you, how are you going to do it? Say, I'm still working it out. That's the style you are emulating.
That's not true.
That's the style.
I take exception to that.
It's taking so much time to talk. And the talk is not manifesting. He's just having an advantage of somebody is ahead of him already, Joe Biden. So anything he does that does not bring the expected results, he begins to castigate. I want to see him becoming a good president of America by still giving credence to the incumbent president. Oh, Joe Biden has done 1, 2, 3. But when I get there with what I have on ground, I can do 8, 9, 10. And that becomes a better president coming up on board. But not at every instance you want to, just like on the other, the last time they had a debate. You never saw any one good thing that Joe Biden did. The first thing I wanted from Donald Trump that day was to congratulate Joe Biden for allowing this platform. Some presidents, we have had them now, some presidents of this country, as they were campaigning to become president, some were invited for a debate, they refused. Because they don't want you to hold them to anything, no promise here and there. For Joe Biden to allow himself and the contestant to be on the same platform to debate, that should have been enough for him to say, I congratulate Joe Biden. I don't think any other president will allow it. If Donald Trump was the sitting president, he will never allow. He will look for one English to discredit that exercise. That is unconstitutional. He cannot see himself with another person. A lot of derogatory things would have been said. To allow himself to stand for 90 minutes to debate. When people complain about Joe Biden as maybe he's not mentally stable and all that, I want to speak against that. Even for 3 of us in the studio now, with other of our colleagues here, can you stand for 90 minutes? One spot, 90 minutes.
But the Bale story seems to be with him also, just like we have in Nigeria.
Yes. So that shows his capacity. Physical capacity first. The mental capacity is also there.
Isn't that a setback?
It isn't. Oh. He has a mental capacity to rule, to govern U.S. He's done that for about 4 years now. So it's just this one.
But the physical capacity is in question.
Yes, it's just this one.
No. The physical capacity is in question.
It's not. I said he stood for 90 minutes. Phil, you can't. 90 minutes. You'll be tired. So an elderly man, an octogenarian, 90 minutes. Can you equate that to an 80-year-old man in Nigeria here standing for 90 minutes? Who does that? So, if you want to become president of America, Donald Trump, okay, go ahead, but don't castigate.
He's former president.
Okay, let's look at what transpired and the violence that took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. You know, some have said that politics should be local, and even at that point, it should be for the emancipation of the people from what they are faced with. It should be for the liberal good of the people. The generality interest should be protected. With what transpired, can you say that the politics we have here in Africa, or in Nigeria, or in Edo State, is different?
I don't get that. Please, can you put it in
when we talk about politics of campaign of calumny,
okay,
when people start making derogatory statements, politicians against each other, what do you see as a lesson that politicians should learn from this process that transpired in Pennsylvania? Do you see that as a good lesson?
Well,
do you see the developed polities in the U.S. Really dishing out stuff that can be emulated?
Well, the average Nigerian is so afraid, you know, and whoever the average contestant trying to contest an incumbent, it's like trying to dig your grave. That's how it's looking like. You know, the picture painted, because the way the states will jump on you, or the federal government will lampoon on you, EFCC, what called their name again? ICPC, DSS, IG, Nigerian custom, everybody, if you're in business, those your businesses will not be there. They will not remember that you've not been paying taxes. A whole lot of stuff will start coming on you just because you intended to. Your intention is that you want to be governor.
So it's natural.
It's part of what is happening. And it's very...
Irrespective of the place where the politics is being
Yes, it's very, very
displayed.
unfortunate in situations like that. Thank God I'm not a politician, I have often said. That would not repel people like us because we have the strength to navigate such muddy waters. Not every Nigerian have the capacity to do that. Because the way they come out, you see nude picture of an XYZ person, that is his private life. Because I remember when the Monica Lewinsky saga was up in the United States, and the Americans said when he said he lied and he's sorry, apologized, they said they are not interested in what goes underneath Bill Clinton. We want his brain. That's what we want. So whatever he has done with his body is his headache. So this back and forth talk of this man is trying to take over power, or you want to contest, you are not qualified. It's your constitutional right. Now, for those that are interested, I will always encourage them, go ahead. Now, when you allow yourself, you throw out yourself for election, then you now understand that police is inviting you. My friend, I don't want to mention him now. My friend was invited. What was the issue? 50,000. They said they want to charge him to court. A big person like that for 50,000 issue of one child issue. I don't want, you know the story, that there's 50,000 issue. They want to charge him because he said he wants to be a governor in his own state. So it's unnecessary. We should stop this and grow and learn. Now, this is a president. You mentioned President Trump. While he was president.
Former president, yeah.
Yes, we still address him as president. Yes, don't worry. We know what we're saying. Hold on. We are the people. Don't worry. We'll defend the we later after this. Let me talk. Let me talk. Now, the President Trump, when he was president of the United States of America.
Good, you realize that.
Remember that there was a debate too. It's something you can't shy away from. That idea of president, you sound very, and I don't like that, that it's a privilege. It's not. The president owed the people to come and tell us. So that is what the American society is all about. And that's what the world should be. Not that they said governor cannot come for debate, and it's not, who are those people that is, who are you to say that to your people? What made you?
You still have the floor. We keep having challenges of political ideology that seem to be absent in parties, most especially in Nigeria particularly. But again, we still have challenges where even within the Republicans, the party seems divided.
I agree.
And what are your concerns about that division? Will it make Donald Trump pull through?
Donald Trump has already pulled through. He's going to pull through. That's fine. That's okay. Let's leave that part. But if you're talking about being divided, being divided, it's part of life.
So it's not common to the parties in Nigeria or Africa?
Even the Almighty God said there was war in heaven. I wonder what you make of that.
Awesome.
If there was war, that means there was division, there was problem where the Almighty God reside. So what is the
So divisions can take place within parties, even with ideologies dominant? Yes,
they can still resolve themselves, settle themselves. That's part of politics.
There won't be litigations.
Oh, come on. If they are, you could have the courts are there. Why will the courts system not work? The courts, lawyers are there to go to court.
Exactly.
You could go to court. Donald Trump has been litigated and he has gone to court and he has been cleared. So it's part of politics.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as, but what I'm saying,
it's a process where everyone must benefit also.
Thank you. Now, what I'm not comfortable about is that for Africa, you're doing a comparison now.
Yes.
In the case of Africa, they bring you in, the man that is prosecuting you is the one that you are contesting with. And the way they frown at you at the courts, the judges are not happy with you. I'm sorry, with respect to all our distinguished judges, and you see something, and then there was a situation that somebody was impeached and they're still contesting impeachment is already out. These are some of the issues we are wondering, where are laws, These are things. You saw the Kanu saga, two brothers fighting over his emir and all those things. And all this back and forth is what I'm talking about. And this is power play. This is politics. The state is getting into the court. You understand that the state is in court. It's different from you and I in court. That's what I don't want. That's why a man like Donald Trump, if it were to be in Nigeria, won't go to court for a man of his status. How many Nigerian past presidents have gone to court? The other time, President Jonathan was invited to come and was subpoenaed to come. You know what he asked them to bring? At the end of the day, the matter died naturally there. President Obasanjo was invited to just come and he said he was sick. And that ends there. To come and explain something, sir. He said, no, I'm sick. So what if a man like Donald Trump could go to court then that's a healthy society. That's what we should be emulating. And forget the fact that you, and Bruce Ali went to court. So I forget the fact that you are president or governor or whatever you are. It's just for a time. And when you are out, you are out. So learn to be magnanimous and love the state more than the office. I think that is basically what it is. We should stop using the instrument that is given to us to protect the people, to lampoon on those that are out trying to contest. Contesting you does not mean you are not good. Contesting the office is that I could be better. Let the people hear me. And if they agree with me, then I become. If they agree with you, then you are. So that's the position. I think that's what we should emulate.
Well,
in all this back and forth, in all this back and forth, you can see that Donald Trump is so free.
Yes.
He's moving around. But if it's in a
very confident,
you can't come out when you are campaigning. I don't want to mention though. You know, billboards and all of those things will be contested. You cannot make media adverts. Some stations will deny you. Somebody called me, a client of mine said, the station said they won't air my advert, that there's an embargo on him coming. And I said, why? Which court? We order? No order, but somebody said no. Yeah. A call came that there's, so these are some of the persons that are bigger than institutions that we are not comfortable with.
Okay, good to know that he pulled through. As you can see, Donald Trump is very much alive, strong, healthy.
Oh, yes.
And that's kudos to a lot of fans of his within the party, and of course here in the studio, where Dr. Patrick Awosage is also participating in the accolades for Donald Trump. Yes. Well, what does the win of Donald Trump in the election mean? What are the concerns you're scared of?
Yeah, I'm not really scared. I'm really pitying those who's going to rule over. And I still restate that I wonder what my colleague will feel, how he will feel when Donald Trump loses.
No. If he wins, what are your fears?
Let's
go to the win game.
Yeah.
What are your fears?
It's all about a win-win.
Are you saying America going backward, or are you saying policies or impact to the world that will not be really celebrated? Or what are your fears? What are your
Americans will be so disappointed if he wins, because he will not be able to bring to bear whatever thing he's saying now. It's just like Nigerian politics. You look for who to blame. It will blame so many things on so many persons and so many circumstances why he is not going to be able to deliver all those campaign promises.
So you are saying he won't initiate global peace?
If he can. Did he do that when he was there? He didn't. He didn't. You know, he is just an outsider as it is right now, that is having a lot of wishes if this could move this way or that way. But when it comes to you being in charge, you may be able to see things as clearly as you were when you were not in that office. It's not like what we're complaining about, price of goods and services have skyrocketed. To a regular politician, he doesn't understand what you're talking about. Because everything he's using is given to him free of charge. So by the time you are out of office, wow, I never knew it was like this. A former president of Nigeria said so too. While he was president, then at the time he was out of office, he was flying Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and saw how dilapidated that road was. So he never knew before then. So Donald Trump, we could say so many things that even Joe Biden cannot relate with right now because he's in office. So by the time Donald Trump, if he wins, because the last debate, one of the interviewers said, how would you feel? What would be your position if you don't win?
So thank you.
He's a desperate person. He didn't say so. He didn't
thank you. I give you 10 seconds to round off. So, your closing remarks.
So by way of closing, I sympathize with Donald Trump. It's not a thing that one wish is or an enemy to go through.
Thank you very much.
But that has nothing to do with victory over this coming election. Next coming election, Joe Biden should win.
All right. Let's get your closing remarks.
Thank you very much. We are so blessed to be here now. And secondly, we know very well that, you know, there's something that's, like he said, Donald Trump is very, very godly, religious. He has given thanks to God. And we know there's a way opening into the White House.
Thank you, Dr. Patrick Awosage, also a legal practitioner. Big thanks to you, Honorable Frank Amega, lecturer at University of Benin. Well, we will be putting more irons on fire. Probably we could be saying in the subsequent episode where we'll look at the policies that Donald Trump comes with if he wins. What are the policies that the Democrats also have? that seemed to be a setback, if you say, to some in the world. Well, some Christians or the whole of Christians do celebrate Donald Trump's policies. And of course, looking at the COVID-19 pandemic, some have said that there was a falsehood that played into the policies of global minds, and that again Donald Trump was against. So we're going to be looking at that subsequently, and there's a much you can take on this. I am Philip Omo Yupo. Goodbye for now.